All right, so welcome back, Elaine, to the Zoom room for another Art of Letting Go live session. So good chat there. Some nice themes which we'll address in our teaching today. So let's jump into the email with the quote for today, and that'll lead us nicely into our lesson. And we'll also look at the inserts that answer the question, what is the world? So let me share my screen with you. So just let me know when you can see it. Okay, so where are we? Not going to work. Okay. Good. Just get the images. Got multiple versions of this going on. All right, so so if you can read that headline quote for us.
Forgiveness, forgiveness, letting go is the only road that leads out of disaster, past all suffering and finally away from death. How could there be another way when this one is the plan of God, perfect love, Himself, itself? And why would you oppose it, quarrel with it, seek to find 1,000 ways in which it must be wrong? 1,000 other possibilities.
Yeah, so that's quote from lesson 198, the workbook. Just another reminder about the only way we'll ever escape from all disaster, suffering in all its forms, ultimately death itself, which has been quite topical the last couple of days. And that's to let go of your belief in these illusions and your false self-concept that is invented and perpetuates them. So to emphasize this point, Yeshua also tells us that this is the plan of perfect love. She also calls the universal curriculum. We all came to this world to learn at-one-ment and salvation. We call it, in our alternative Art of Letting Go language, awakening. Other teachers and spiritual paths have called it enlightenment, transformation, many names for it. But whatever you call it, it remains a singular, timelessly true purpose for all human lives. Doesn't matter who you are. You know, there's one, because there's only one truth, there's only one true purpose. And this is why it's been called the perennial philosophy. That has been in evidence since before recorded human history, starting with the shamans of the prehistoric tribes. They were the first spiritual teachers, and then developing to the more sophisticated teachings of ancient India, the Vedas that spread throughout Asia, which in turn led to many of the Eastern religions, such as Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, developing around the teachings of spiritually awakened people like Krishna, Laozi, and the Buddha. Then Yeshua, who almost certainly spent some time studying and practicing these teachings in India and Tibet. There was a trade route through It was quite a long, arduous journey, but you could travel to the Far East by camel. Would have taken months in those days, but you could do it. There's recordings of a white spiritual master called Isa in Tibetan history. So very possibly he went there and studied and learned the ways of another culture, and then he came back, which is why he was just so, where did he get that knowledge from? He came back into his old society, having been on this hero's journey. It was like, where have you been? Yeah, how do you know this stuff? He was on another level. So he deeply understood the Eastern teachings, and he added his own unique insights about the tiny mad idea of separation, as he calls it in A Course in Miracles, and the sin and the guilt that believing in it fosters, which then lead to all the ego's other mad thoughts and emotions, such as fear of punishment, desire or craving, as the Buddha called it, anger, hatred, jealousy, and all the other negative thoughts and emotions that go in the ego's Pandora's box. So let's just have a quick look at this. So look at the descent into hell. There it's shown visually. The tiny mad idea, the thought of separation, leads to a split in the mind, leads to an individual identity, which we call the ego or consciousness, which believes that it is separate from pure formless awareness, and that leads to the next step down, that individuality, the sense that I'm an individual self, and therefore I'm guilty and sinful because at my very core, because I've separated, I've actually destroyed oneness. I've destroyed pure formless awareness of perfect love in order to have this individual identity. And therein is the metaphysical guilt and sin for that seemingly terrible crime, which then demands punishment. I then must expect punishment, which appears to be real, and I invent a concept of a fearful, wrathful, vengeful God, and I project out my guilt and sin onto others as accusation, blame, and attack. And therein lies the development of the ego's thought system. So you can see that very clearly in this diagram, can't you? And so I think Yeshua's understanding was quite unique because he put this all together. I haven't seen it stated with this clarity anywhere else, even in the Eastern teachings. I think he had some unique insights as to how this all works, which fortunately he's now put down in writing in the course, so we can learn this and then put it into a simple diagrammatic format like this. So it starts to become quite understandable when you put it this way. So just go back to here. I'd highly recommend. We did actually read quite a lot of this article, so I'm not going to do it again. But one of our sessions, if you recall, I think you were in it. But I'd highly recommend reading this article, which is on the perennial wisdom of A Course in Miracles. So
yes, I have.
Scholar, relates the course and he compares it to the 4 yogas.
Yeah, yes, I've read it. Yes,
I'm obviously out of the Eastern yogic path.
Yeah. Yes, I was there when you went through it. Yeah.
And so you see that this is just another version of the universal curriculum. It's very much along the lines of the 4 yogas, and in fact, elements of the 4 yogas are all in the course. So one could say this is the Western version of that yogic path, because the yoga was all about attaining the perfect non-dual enlightenment. So this is the Christian form of the Vedanta, as Bill Thetford, he was one of the original scribes. Helen was a scribe, but he helped her He called this the Christian Vedanta, A Course in Miracles. So it's saying what the Vedanta has said for thousands of years, but there's a kind of unique flavor to it because he's got a lot of psychological concepts because he was talking to psychologists. He understood psychology, so he brings that in, and he brings in this metaphysical understanding of how this all came about. And I haven't seen this taught like this as explicitly anywhere else. Buddhism, they have their theories, but no one kind of lays it out and says, okay, well, it was just a tiny mad idea, and that tiny mad idea then becomes something in your mind which is seemingly separate from God, and then this individual identity now feels guilty because it thinks it's destroyed pure formless awareness of perfect love, and that guilt and that sin then lead to all the other nasties of the ego, the fear, projection of guilt as attack, accusation, blame, attack, suffering. You must, if you're guilty and deserve punishment, then you must suffer and be a victim, and so on. And it all comes from that single core delusion that yes, you can actually separate from your source, and therefore you're guilty for it. And you've committed this terrible sin because of that separation. That's the core of the delusion, which I think Yeshua understood more fully than anyone else, which is why he leads the at-one-ment. He says, I'm in charge of the at-one-ment because I was the first person to fully accept my role in it. So he became the Christ, fully identified with his true self, the one self, rather than the ego. And then, he's the way shower, the teacher for all of us to show us the way home. To that same state of mind he's attained. Yeah, so that's definitely worth reading. The idea of the perennial philosophy is that it's perennial, it doesn't change. The truth is true, always been true, and always will be true. And that truth is contained in all of the major religions. Any true teaching that has a basis of truth in it is part of the perennial philosophy. It really says, in a nutshell, that this world is not reality. This world is an illusion. There's another reality beyond that, which is your true reality. That's your true home, and it helps you to find that. So whenever you choose to forgive or let go of any negative thoughts or emotion, you accept fundamental truth the perennial philosophy postulates, which is the existence of a transcendent, timeless, infinite reality. And whenever you hold on to a negative thought or emotion, you choose to give reality to the ego and all its beliefs in a separate self and external world that contradict your true purpose of awakening to the awareness of this timeless, transcendent reality. So we must let go, such as the simple choice that we call to make whenever we're faced with a seemingly difficult decision. We must let go. So there's a bonus recording from a year ago. Sally asked a question about how we can judge, or now, what's the lingo language, discern the difference between the ego's impulses and the Holy Spirit's, or the remembrance of perfect love's genuine guidance. So how does one know? Okay, so I'm getting an impulse to do something. Is that coming from the ego? Is it coming from the Holy Spirit? So I responded to that in some detail in that recording. So go listen to it. But in a nutshell, it's a feeling. One goes on feeling. Like how does it feel? Do I feel calm, happy, peaceful when I think that thought and I feel that emotion?
Mm.
If so, then it's probably correct. And if I feel disturbed in any way, my peace is disturbed and turbulated, then it's probably not.
Yeah.
It's usually the way to tell. And you've just got to trust your feelings.
Yeah.
Because they're there to to help you and guide you. They're part of your what's called your intuition. Okay, so yeah, listen to that when you got a chance.
Yeah, I did watch some of it. Yes, I did watch some of it.
It's a good session, if I recall.
Yeah, yes.
There we go. How to free yourself from suffering, and then the bonus one was Eckhart Tolle talking about how to make inspired, guided decisions with the help of the Holy Spirit or moments of love. He discusses how one can make decisions with this loving presence. Gives a good example of this from his own life. So yeah, have a read of that when you got a chance. Listen to that. Okay, so that brings us to our lesson for today. Nice kind of intro and lead into the lesson, which is this is lesson 249. We're on to, so I'll just bring it up in the document in case you've got anything to edit. So if you can read, in fact, let's do it's only 5 paragraphs of text today, so let's have a look at what is the world as an intro into the lesson. So you can read that, Elaine, in the let's read it in the alternative because we've already done the translation of this.
Yeah. The world is false perception. It is born of error, and it has not left its source. It will remain no longer than I cherish the thought that I gave it birth. When the thought of separation has been changed to one of true letting go, I will perceive the world in quite another awareness, one which leads to truth, where the whole world disappears and all its errors vanish. Now its source has gone, and so its effects are gone as well.
Yeah, so what's he saying there?
Well, just the world is a false perception. It's all born from error. It's left its source. And once we let go of the thought of separation and change to our true self, we will perceive the world in quite a different, well, the opposite will be in another awareness, which leads to the truth. Yeah. So the world vanishes, disappears.
Oh, well, disappears, which to the ego is inconceivable. You're like, how can it just disappear? Seems to be so solid and real. But it's not really. It's a hallucination. If all the images that you see are merely images projected in your mind, there's nothing solid about them.
No.
And well, quite easily, you know, when you drop the body, you drop all sense of limitation and lack and scarcity, and you just merge back in to your true awareness, and all this stuff will just go, just disappears. And all its errors vanish. Now its source is gone, and so its effects are gone as well. So its source being the tiny mad idea of separation. And look at the diagram. What he's trying to do is help us to go back to that original idea that seemed to split our minds and separate us, and correct it. So he's taking us back up the ladder systematically as we have experiences and these issues come up, fear and guilt and sin, and as we reinterpret those through the eyes of the Holy Spirit, and we correct our minds, we climb the ladder and we start going back up the ladder through the veils of amnesia. That's what these dots symbolize. This we've chosen to forget. So now we have to remember. And it's like you've got to climb up the ladder through the life experiences, and you transcend these limiting beliefs to eventually get to the realization that, you know, the whole thing is false. That idea of separation is just false. That's not true. Yeah, so go back here. So happy with number 1?
Yeah.
Number 2 then.
The world was made as an attack on pure formless awareness of perfect love. It symbolizes fear. And what is fear except love's absence? So the world was meant to be a place where pure formless awareness of perfect love could not enter, and where its extension could be apart from it. Here was perception born, for knowledge could not cause such insane thoughts. But eyes deceive and ears hear falsely. Now mistakes become quite possible, for certainty has gone.
Okay, so thoughts on that?
Well, the world's just been set up to avoid pure formless awareness of perfect love. Our eyes, ears, our senses deceive us. So
that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a setup. It's meant to distract us from the kingdom of heaven. Here was perception born, for knowledge could not cause such insane thoughts. But eyes deceive and ears hear falsely. Now mistakes become quite possible, for certainty is gone. So once you enter into the false domain of the ego, then what can you expect but falsity and thoughts? Your eyes and your ears now deceive you, and you're living in a false world where everything's false. Everything you perceive is false. Wow. Just try and wrap your head around that one. It seems to be there, but it's not really there. You seem to be here, but you're not really here. And the world was made to perpetuate that illusion. The matrix of control, mind control, to control your mind, to make you believe that you are a separate self, you are a body, you are really here. And that's what the purpose of the matrix is. You know, as Morpheus said in the Matrix, you know, the purpose of the matrix is control. It's to keep your mind under control, so that you believe you really are here, you're human, that you're bound by the laws of the world. There's no escape from them. You have to obey these insane laws and just play your part in the matrix. Just be another cog in the machine. And yet it's feeding off you. You know, that's the whole teaching, isn't it? It's feeding off your mind and your life energy. And your perception, our body's eyes and ears are designed to show you falsely that's, you know, that's all real. That the mistakes are real. It's all real, justified, and therefore it's scary, it's fearful. Get angry. It was interesting in the Matrix 4. I don't know if you ever saw it. Did you see that? Did you see that movie?
No, I've only seen the first one.
Yeah. So in the Matrix 4, well, it didn't quite measure up in my view to the first one. And neither did the other two. But he's saying that what was my point?
The Matrix 4.
Yeah. So the Matrix 4. So the controller of the illusion, called the in that one, he was not called the architect. He was called the therapist. Interesting. They made the control of the whole thing a psychotherapist. He was near a psychotherapist. And he's saying, well, it's amazing. He said, all we do is we amp up the we get people to feel these strong emotions. The worse we treat them, the more energy they produce, because the whole point is, remember, they're stuck in the matrix and they're feeding it with their body energy. So it's like the worse we treat them, the more energy they produce for us. And it was very very insightful of whoever wrote it to put that in, to say, well, this is the setup. So when you get treated badly and you're a victim, and you're seemingly a victim, and then you feel unfairly treated and you get angry, and all these strong emotions come, you produce all this emotional energy which the ego feeds off. Like a parasite. He's like, and the therapist saying, well, it's great, we just treat them badly, and we get great returns in terms of energy yield, so we keep on doing it. And that's the twisted, warped system that we're in. The ego wants you to get upset. It wants those strong emotions because it feeds off them like a parasite. And so what we've got to do is to let go of those strong emotions, and as they arise, to be able to release them. And that's the way you free yourself from the matrix, because those thoughts and emotions that keep you enslaved to it, and will keep you coming back to it, keep you believing in it, in that it's true. Okay, so any other thoughts on number 2?
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Number 3.
The mechanisms of illusions have been born instead, and now they try to find what has been given them to seek. Their aim is to fulfill the purpose which the world was made to witness and make real. They perceive in its illusions and solid foundations where truth, upheld apart from lies, exists. Yet everything that they report is merely an illusion that is kept apart from truth.
Okay, so thoughts on that one?
The illusions are perceived as a solid foundation where truth upheld apart from lies, and so it's just merely an illusion to be kept away from the truth. It's all set up.
Yeah. It is a setup.
Yeah.
A setup to get upset.
Yeah.
That's how it works. A setup to get upset. So our job is to see that. Its illusions, a solid foundation where truth upheld apart from lies exists. Everything they report. So just see through it and go, well, if it's all illusion, this is the Holy Spirit's teaching. If it's all illusion, then why are you getting upset about any of it? It's not real. On that basis, well, nothing should upset you, because none of it's true, none of it's real. And that's radical forgiveness. When you understand that, that's radical forgiveness. And none of it needs to upset me, even though it seems to be happening, because it's just a dream, just a nightmare from which I can awaken. And the world was designed to enslave me into that nightmare. My ego designed it very carefully to perpetuate its illusion of a separate self. That's what the world's set up for. And so now my task becomes to awaken from it, to free myself from it. That's the only thing I came to do. And then he says, but, okay, this is the ego story, but the Holy Spirit has another use for your everything, for the world and your perceptions of the world. So, number 4.
As sight was made to lead away from truth, it can be redirected. Sounds become the call for perfect love, and all perception can be given a new purpose by the presence that pure formless awareness of perfect love appointed as awakener to the world. So I choose to follow its guidance and perceive the world as it perceives it. I choose to hear its voice alone in all that speaks to me. And I let it give me peace and certainty, which I have thrown away, but the state of pure formless awareness has preserved for me in itself.
Okay, so
Yeah. Well, we can redirect our senses to the truth, so that sounds and sight lead us to perfect love instead of the other. And I allow it, or I let it give me peace and certainty, which I've thrown away.
yeah, when we decided to be a separate self, we threw away peace and certainty, but fortunately that's not permanent. It's preserved for me in the state of pure formless awareness, which is still within me. It's just not necessarily in my awareness right now. It's potential, not actual for most people, because they don't experience it fully yet. But state of pure formless awareness is, it's preserved the peace. It's there for us, still within us, just waiting for us to invite it back in and accept its presence. And so all of this mind training is just so that you can remove all the blocks to the awareness of that presence, allow it back in to awareness, so you experience it directly again. And that's what we're doing with all the mind training. We have to just listen to the guidance of the Holy Spirit, the remembrance of perfect love, that guides us in this process of letting go of all the blocks to the awareness of love's presence and just accepting back the pure formless awareness of perfect love into our awareness as our awareness. Okay, any other thoughts on that? Elaine, you okay with?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought I'd. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's clear. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so number 5 then, last one of the short insert.
Let me not rest content until the world has joined my changed perception. Let me not be satisfied until everyone has fully let go of their belief in separation. And let me not attempt to change my function. I must free the world, for I who made it must perceive it through the eyes of my true self, so that what was made to die can be restored to eternal life.
Okay, thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it's just, we need to let the world join with our changed perception. So we won't be satisfied until everyone has fully let go of their belief in separation. And I won't be tempted to change my function. The
That's
aim is
the at-one-ment. The full at-one-ment will be every mind has let go of its belief in separation. Well, as he says, that might take millions or even billions of years. But it doesn't really matter, because for you, it can take one lifetime if you choose for it to. We're not doomed to come back over and over again. Some of the teachings, like the Eastern teachings, say, well, you become a bodhisattva and you just come back again and again and again. You never transcend this, because your job is to free everyone else. That's one idea, but that's not in accordance with what the Course is teaching. You're saying, you can transcend this whole illusion, leave it all behind, and no one is ever really left behind, because they have the Holy Spirit. They have the Christ, the true self, which is eternal, and the Holy Spirit with them, and that comes in many forms. So just because you're not here as a body, the Holy Spirit is never absent, and it's available to people in many forms, not just through your human teaching. So it's okay to leave. You're quite entitled to say, okay, I'm done with that. I go back into pure formless awareness, perfect love. You join Yeshua and all the other masters as the one mind, the Christ mind, who is which is helping humanity awaken. And you cease to be a separate self in that mind. You're completely one with him and with all the other masters. You've simply ceased to exist as separate entities, and have joined that one awareness. So when people say, well, where did the Buddha go? Where did Yeshua go? Well, they went back into pure formless awareness, where they exist eternally, and they are one. And now that that singular awareness comes into the world in many forms, including this course, to teach us how to attain that awareness again, because we've forgotten. We denied it, we forgot it, we blocked it out so thoroughly that for most people that is just a very distant memory. It's deeply buried, and they're completely unconscious of it. They don't know it's even there. So he's really calling us to join the at-one-ment here. Let me not rest content till everyone has awoken. So dedicate your life to this to this at-one-ment process, which involves freeing yourself and freeing the world. Well, how you made it must perceive it through the eyes of my true self. So what was made to die, because it is a death wish, can be restored to eternal life. So I restore my mind, which is the only real thing in this world, to the awareness that I am eternal. And the idea of death is gone. That's what he means. Okay, so a good little intro to the lesson.
Yeah.
We jump into the lesson then. Let me just do another recording. So I'm just splitting these up, so one day they're all little bite-sized chunks in audio. That can be listened to, streamed, and so on. Okay, so lesson 249 we're on to today.
Forgiveness ends all suffering and loss. Letting go ends all suffering and loss. It's a good lesson.
Okay.
But it's a pity
so how does that sit with you now? You said it didn't really penetrate.
Oh,
earlier.
it's better. It's certainly better. But for some reason, it just seemed to be a bit heavy today. But whether that's just because I'm still got a bit of a chesty throat, so it could be a bit of that as well. So I shouldn't blame it on that. Shouldn't make any difference. But it feels a bit better now, a bit lighter. Yeah.
It's just ego resistance. So if you started understanding each lesson perfectly on a deep level, you'd be enlightened. The ego's, it's game over.
Yeah.
So if you experience resistance to a lesson or it's not going in, know that it's not because you're stupid. It's just because the ego is resisting and doesn't
Yeah.
want you
Oh,
to
yes. Yeah.
fully
No,
get
we
it.
have that. Yeah.
Letting go ends all suffering and loss. And so, that's the way it goes. Some lessons penetrate more deeply than
Oh,
others.
yeah. Well, yesterday's
You do
was.
this next year, and you carry on. You see next year you do it, and then you go, oh, I just have a totally different experience.
Well, as I said, yeah. So,
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Well, yesterday it really resonated. So, yeah. Some not so much. So it's just the way it is.
Yeah, and next year this one might really resonate. That's how
Yeah.
it goes.
Well,
They've all got
exactly.
truth in it.
Exactly.
So really, what he's saying here, it's a very simple statement of truth. Forgiveness, or as we call it, letting go, ends all suffering and loss. You want the answer to all suffering and loss, which is characterized the human condition. Here's the answer. He's giving it to you in one short, simple sentence. Letting go is the answer. Letting go ends all suffering and loss. It ends all pain, misery, even death. So why wouldn't you do it? We look somehow for another answer. When there is no other answer. Why would you seek?
Not the ego thought. No.
Why would you seek for another answer? He says when you have the answer that answers everything. Remember once a lady I was talking to about this, and she was, sort of seemingly quite spiritually sophisticated, but actually not really getting it. But she was trying to pretend. So, oh no. She says, "Why forgiveness? Yeah, that's one of hundreds of techniques. Why would there's many others." And you're just saying, no, actually, there's only one really, because all of those different techniques are designed to do one thing. If they're authentic spiritual techniques, they're designed to help you to let go. So there's actually only one thing you've got to do, despite the many forms that can take, which she didn't understand at that point. And letting go is the theme that runs through all the spiritual practices. Whether you look at a breath work, what are you doing? You're withdrawing the body senses. You're withdrawing your identification from the body, going within. Often you close your eyes, meditation. Close your eyes, withdraw the senses. Let go of false thoughts and just find a deeper awareness. That's all about letting go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Letting go of your existing self-concept, your existing thoughts, emotions, and so on. And that ends all of your suffering and loss and opens you up to the truth of who you really are. Okay, so having said that, you want to read the original and then the alternative, just line by line, so it gives me a chance to edit it, check it.
Forgiveness paints a picture of a world where suffering is over. Loss becomes impossible and anger makes no sense. Letting go paints a picture of a world where suffering is over. Loss becomes impossible and anger makes no sense. Attack is gone and madness has an end. Attack is gone and madness has an end. Has ended. What suffering is now conceivable? What suffering is now conceivable? What loss can be sustained? What loss can be sustained? The world becomes a place of joy, abundance, charity, and endless giving. The world becomes a place of joy, abundance, charity, and endless giving.
Shall we change charity to kindness, maybe? What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Charity, it's quite old-fashioned, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds better, kindness.
We actually translate charity as unconditional love in other parts of the course, but I think kindness kind of works there, doesn't it?
It does.
Kindness,
Yeah,
endless giving.
that sounds
Loving.
good.
How about loving kindness? That would be nice.
Yeah, that
Loving
gives it
kindness.
more, yeah,
Hmm.
emphasis.
Loving kindness and endless giving.
Yeah. It is now so like heaven that it quickly is transformed into the light that it reflects. And so the journey, which the extension, it's now so like the state of pure formless awareness that it is quickly transformed into this awareness that it reflects. And so the journey which the Son of God began has ended in the light from which it came. And so the journey which the extension of perfect love began has ended in the pure formless awareness of perfect love from which it came.
So what's he saying in that paragraph?
We're letting go is painting the world of suffering is over. And so loss and anger and all of those become impossible. Madness and all of the negatives are gone. Suffering is not possible. So the world eventually becomes a place of joy and loving kindness and endless giving. So it's a lovely state to be in, pure formless awareness. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
So the journey which the extension of perfect love began has ended in pure formless awareness of perfect love from which it came. Lovely thought.
It is.
Return back to our source. And maybe if we know the place, as T.S. Eliot, Eliot said that the end of all of our journeying shall be to arrive at the place that we departed from and to know it for the first time. So we come back and we've been full cycle on the hero's journey, and we come back and we know it perhaps for the first time. We know who we are. We look at hero's journey, you see the circular nature of it. And you start to see how everything points to it. These teachings, the quotes, they point to this so-called reality of the hero's journey. So we start unawakened, we go through the whole journey, trials and tribulations, cross the threshold, go through a death of the ego, come back into an awakening of understanding who we really are, return to our normal world, sometimes not even haven't gone anywhere physically, but we've been on a profound inner journey. And now we come back and we know the place for the first time. Okay, I know who I am, having been through this journey. It was interesting in one of the, I don't know if you've read it's called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, I think so, many years ago.
You remember the story was that the shepherd boy has to go on this, he has a dream, he goes on this profound journey, and he goes journeying, seeking for what he dreamed of, some treasure, goes through this whole journey, eventually comes back to exactly the place that he had the dream, and digs there and finds the treasure.
Right.
So okay, so it was it was
It's
right
there in
there
front of,
always.
right
It
in
was
front
right
of
there,
us.
but you just weren't in the state to know it. So you had to go on this journey
Yeah. So it's similar to
to
this.
your
Yeah.
hero's journey to awaken, and then you're ready to receive it. That's the message. So there's the hero's journey. Full circle. And you come back and you know the place for the first time. I now finally understand what I always had.
Right in front of us. Yeah.
Right, yeah, literally right under your nose. It's right there. Your true awareness, pure awareness was always there. Happiness, love, joy was always there, but you just didn't know because you had too many blocks. So you have to go on this whole profound journey to work through all of that. That's what the trials and the tribulations are about. To let them go and and awaken from that dream into the light.
Mm.
So you see this hero's journey, coming into play in all these teachings.
Mm-hmm.
We come back to where we never really left. We've always been there. We just thought we were somewhere else. We were in a dream world, in an illusion. And so returning just means coming back to what we've always been, but just didn't know. Have obscured with an illusion of a reality that's not true. So to make spiritual progress, we have to return to our original state. That's actually what growth means. Spiritual growth is returning to our original state, not becoming something more than we are. It's just returning to that pristine, pure, formless awareness, which is our original state and nature. That's true growth. And so it looks like growth in this world, but actually just returning home and undoing the blocks of the awareness of love's presence. Not becoming something more than what you were. You're actually just shedding what you weren't. Cutting away, like the analogy of a sculpture is a beautiful one. So you just chip away and you take away everything that's not your essence, and then what reveals itself eventually with all of that chipping away, which is the spiritual practice and work, is this masterpiece of your true self that was always there. It was in that block of stone, but it needed to be revealed. So the David, I mean, this came from Michelangelo, probably the greatest sculptor of all time, and this is how he did it. He said, how did you sculpt a David and the other sculptures he did? He said, because I saw it already there. It was already there, and I just revealed it. Which is exactly what we have to do with our spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
We see it there, but it needs to be fully revealed. So we've got to chip away patiently, with diligence. It must have taken him, I don't know how many long, but probably took him years to sculpt that. Just patiently tapping away. And imagine the fine chiseling, like just a little chisel there, just, very patient work just to fine tune it. And eventually you get this, absolute masterpiece that's revealed. But it was already there. So he could obviously see it in his mind. He must have seen it in his mind in a picture and gone, okay, it's already there. So now I've just got to reveal it. Much easier than going, well, I've got to create a masterpiece. Rather just know the masterpiece is already there. I've just got to reveal it.
Yeah.
Interesting psychology. Interesting that, that's how the greatest sculpture in the world, David, which is extraordinary. It was so lifelike. So how did he do it? Well, he saw it already there, and then he just chipped away and took away what it wasn't, rather than trying to create something. Just remove what it's not to reveal what it is. That's this whole process. That's what we're doing with this spiritual awakening. This whole all the spiritual practice is designed to chip away at what you're not to reveal what you are. So forgiveness is the chipping away at what you're not. Forgiveness is the hammer blows with the chisel that are chipping away at all the false stuff. And you just do that daily. Okay, I'm just chipping away, chiseling away, letting that go to reveal the essence, that I truly am. More and more so. The masterpiece, of my true creation that I really am. And that is, that's what we call growth, spiritual growth in this world, when you do that. Actually just returning to who you already are. Okay, so any other thoughts on questions on number 1?
No, it's clear.
Just saying, the whole world is going to be done for. The madness is gone, the loss is gone. What's left is joy, abundance, loving kindness, and endless giving in the state of pure formless awareness of perfect love. And the journey which the extension of perfect love began is ended in the pure formless awareness of perfect love from which it came. Okay, so number 2 is just a prayer.
My source, I choose to return my awareness to you. I have betrayed it, held it in a vice of bitterness, and frightened it with thoughts of violence and death. Now I choose to rest again in you as you extended me and all of us.
Yeah, so instead of as you created us, as you extend me and all of us. You're just the extension of the source of this loving awareness. And the extension must be like its source. So if loving awareness extended you, then you must also be loving awareness. That's that's the simple truth. You can't be unlike what created you or what extends you. And so the ideas of violence and death, anything that separates you from this awareness, must then just be a dream, must be false, because you are extended by loving awareness. Therefore, you must be loving awareness. I am that I am, as the Bible says. I am that I am. I am that loving awareness that I am. And there is no other awareness. That's a simple truth. But to reveal that simple truth is our task in this world. That's why we practice, the hundreds, thousands of chisel blows to reveal the masterpiece are necessary. So every time you do spiritual practice, that's what you're doing. You're just chiseling away and revealing the masterpiece. So if you think of it in that way, then it's quite motivating to do it. Okay, so when I do a few minutes of spiritual practice in a breath break, or I do a longer meditation, or I show up to a live session, or I do some reading, it's another chisel blow that's revealing my true self. Okay, so any other thoughts on that?
No, that's good. That's good.
So we've got 5 paragraphs of text to do today. It's not that great. Do you want to go straight into that and then do a meditation at the end, or do the meditation?
Yeah. If I could, because I'll have to take the dogs out. So, so I don't want too much of a late night.
Okay, so maybe we'll see if we have time.
We'll do the text, yeah.
Do the text, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So moving swiftly on to the text. It's start off with the text. Okay, so this one is, let's see if I can find it. It's called freedom of will. That's what it's called. So let's go to section 2 of chapter 30. Title is Freedom of Will. I guess we could translate that as freedom of awareness, because we translate will as awareness.
Yeah.
So we'll just do that. Freedom of awareness. Something like that. We've got okay, so you want to read the original and the alternatives, give me a chance to do some translation. Clean that up later. Oh, so read it line by line, the original and then the alternative.
Yeah. I do not understand that to oppose the Holy Spirit is to fight yourself. I do not understand that to oppose the remembrance of perfect love is to fight myself.
Do I not? It's actually a question. Do I not understand?
Oh,
Not
do I
understand.
not?
No, do I not understand? So asking a question. No, mostly we don't. But the question is designed to bring our understanding, more understanding.
Yeah. He tells you, but your will. He tells me only my will. Awareness.
Yeah, it tells me only what my awareness is and speaks for me. Only what my true awareness, we'll call it, is. That's what your will is. Tells me only what my true awareness is. And speaks for me. True awareness. I wonder if it really tells me only what my true awareness really is, and speaks for this awareness. Okay, and its divinity.
In his divinity is but your own. In its divinity is only my own.
Maybe my own. My own divinity. Lies in its alone, in its divinity is but your own. Divinity, I wonder if we should, it's not a usual word he uses, is it?
No.
Divinity. Divinity means divine, of God.
Source. My own source lies in it.
My own
Bit.
sacredness, perhaps, and divinity lies in its alone. My own pure formless awareness. Divinity is really awareness. It tells me only that my true awareness really is and speaks for this awareness. My own awareness lies in its pure formless awareness alone. Yeah, happy with that translation?
Yeah. So, and all it knows is only my knowledge, and all he knows is but your knowledge saved for you, that you may do your will through him. And all it knows is only my knowledge saved for me, so that I may do my awareness through it.
No. Do my awareness doesn't really work, does it? You don't really do awareness. That I may be my true awareness through it. I might be my true awareness through it. Because the reason I change, like doing God's will, it's a difficult one. So what is, what is doing God's will then? I think too often people interpret that very much according to the ego. So it's all about doing, so I need to do stuff. It's not actually talking about that primarily. Yeah, you may be inspired to do certain things, but it's when you're doing God's will, you're just being in this awareness. You're staying rooted in this deeper awareness, and not allowing your mind to get swayed from that. So this is what he's referring to here when he says doing God's will. It's actually remaining rooted in your true awareness. Maybe grounded or rooted in my true awareness. I may be rooted in my true awareness through it. So the ego, cannot then misuse this world. I'm rooted in true awareness. I see what the purpose of everything is. Okay.
So God asks you to do your will. Pure formless awareness of perfect love asks, I do my will. He joins with you.
Ask me to. Let's change that to ask me to. When you do your will, again, it's ask me to accept my true awareness. That's what it means to do its will. Not about doing anything. It's not on the level of form and behavior. Ask me to accept my true awareness. Ask me only to accept my true awareness. That's doing its will. Just wants you to be one with it. Okay, next one, number 6, sorry.
Yeah. It joins with me.
It's the same, yeah.
It joins with me. It did not set its kingdom up alone. And the state of pure formless awareness only represents my will.
My awareness.
My awareness, where every extension is for me. No spark of life.
You forgot to read the original.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't see it there.
Where everything created is for you.
Where everything is created is for you. And
Where
every extension is for me.
Everything extended. Every creation, interesting. Yeah, but a bit confusing, that word creation. Everything created is for you. So creation created refers to being, extension of being into the world. That's what creation is. Well, actually, creation on the highest level is just pure being. But then when he says it's created, he means that being is extended into the world. Everything extended is for me. Yeah, so no spark of life.
No spark of life only was extended with my glad consent as I would have it be. No spark of life, but
so let's just.
No spark of life, but was created with your glad consent as you would have it be.
Every spark of life was extended with my glad consent. And make that a capital L. As I want it to be. Okay. As I want it to be. I'm just going to change kingdom, I think, to reality. Not set its reality up alone.
Right. I did not set its reality up alone.
Yeah, and then read the next one. The state of.
And the state of pure formless awareness only represents my awareness, where everything extended is for me.
Yeah.
Okay. And not one thought that pure formless awareness of perfect love has ever had only waited for my blessing to be born. Pure formless awareness of perfect love is no enemy to me. It asks no.
Pause there. No? So not one thought, because we've got an only, that should be a but.
Yeah.
Never had but waited. So instead of the double negative, you're saying not one thought. And just make it every thought. And every thought that pure formless awareness of perfect love has ever had waited for my blessing to be born. Okay, so saying that it needs my how about instead of blessing, I think awareness would be good there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I waited for my awareness to be born. Yeah. They're kind of logical, and because every thought, if it's a true thought coming from source, needs my awareness to be born. It comes into my mind, into my awareness to be born, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he means. Okay, and number 11. Just reading the original. God is no enemy.
God is no enemy to you, and pure formless awareness of perfect love is no enemy to me.
How about we just say it's not my enemy? Much simpler. Mm-hmm.
He asks no more than that he hear you call him friend. It asks no more than that I hear it called friend.
Yeah, that it here you call it. And why? Translated. It asks no more than that he here you call, right? Than that it here. It's translated. And then that it here. It hear me. Call it friend. Asks no more. It asks only. It asks only that. It asks only that. Hear me call it friend. That it asks only that I. Simple. It asks only that I call it friend. Simple. Okay, so just read that from the top and the alternative. Kindly.
Yeah. I do not understand that to oppose the remembrance of perfect love is to fight myself. It tells me only what my true awareness really is and speaks for this awareness. My own awareness lies in its pure formless awareness alone, and all it knows is only my knowledge, saved for me so that I may be rooted in my true awareness through it. Pure formless awareness of perfect love asks me only to accept my true awareness. It joins with me. It did not set its reality up alone, and the state of pure formless awareness only represents my awareness, where everything extended is for me. Every spark of life was extended with my glad consent as I want it to be, and every thought that pure formless awareness of perfect love has ever had waited for my awareness to be born. Pure formless awareness of perfect love is not my enemy. It asks only that I call it friend.
What's he saying in that one?
Well, it's again, well, it's just not, seeing it as the enemy, the pure formless awareness. Just sort of summarizing it. It only represents my true awareness, and it just extends from that. And it's all love and kindness. It's and every thought that comes from pure formless awareness has waited for my awareness to be born, and it's not our enemy. We only ask it to be our friend.
I mean, the key thing is, when it says "do my will," translation is you just accept that this awareness is yours. That's what it all comes down to. And your speech and your actions come out of that awareness. Can we accept that this pure formless awareness of perfect love is our own awareness? So that's what he's saying. Oh, it's only that I call it friend. Okay, this is my awareness. This is who I really am. It joins with me. And I accept it again as my own awareness. I rejected it once upon a time when time began, but my task is to accept it back and restore my mind to that awareness. It couldn't be simpler, really. It's so simple. Given how far we've departed from that awareness, it's not easy because we've got a whole other awareness going
away. Yeah.
Completely false other awareness going on of who we think we are, where we believe we are, all kinds of other thoughts, beliefs, values, judgments.
I think
opinions,
we deep down know this, what this is saying. It's just with so many, many years of the conditioned ego is very, very difficult to chip away at. At times, other times it's like yesterday, fine. But today was more of a challenge. So yeah, it just depends. Each day is different, of course. So we do know that this is there deep down. Yeah, it's so obscured by this. This.
Well, everyone does because it says fundamental, their own true awareness, their own fundamental awareness. So you can't ever fully lose it.
No,
But you can completely, virtually bury it and obscure it so much that
you just
really have no idea.
Yeah,
it's all so buried that you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
So you're not aware of your own true awareness, and then you live in a false awareness, and that's the whole delusion.
And you believe that's the truth. Yeah. I get that.
False awareness then is who you believe you are,
and
then you're guided by that. The thoughts and emotions and so on, the actions that motivates you to do are then guided by that awareness rather than the deeper awareness that you've buried. So this is all about uncovering that deepest awareness and making it very conscious, bringing it into conscious awareness, acknowledging it, accepting it, embracing it, saying, yeah, this is my true awareness. I'm not going to reject it anymore because this offers me everything I truly want. Love, peace, happiness, joy, all come from this awareness, and I will never find them if I'm out of this awareness.
It's that little ego keeps tripping us up. We seem to be on the way, and then we have still beliefs that pop up. Yeah.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
And then that's another block cropping up into your conscious awareness to be released. So you welcome it. Okay, well, this is good. I'm playing detective here. I need to become aware of all of these blocks so that I can release them, because that's the way home. So rather than fearing it or resisting it when the blocks come up, you go, great, another block came up. Really, I'm really happy, because that's another lesson learned, another part of the ego let go of, I'm closer to my ultimate goal of pure
Most
formless
things are,
love.
normal everyday stuff you can let go of, but there's just some things that challenge your belief system, which of course, is coming from the ego self. So yeah,
those are exactly the lessons you need to learn. Those difficult ones are exactly the ones that you must learn to free your mind.
Yeah.
So, if death still triggers you, then that's a lesson you've got to learn.
Yeah. So the last couple of days since
there's no death.
Since my friend's been talking about it, since she got out of hospital, it seems to be the theme at the moment. So so it's obviously something that I need to address. Yeah. From the true self, I should say, rather than the ego self.
Yeah. If you can perceive it correctly, then you come through this and you won't have any more fear of death. There'll be no.
Yeah.
And be prepared for your own death then at some point, which is, what this is all about.
Yeah. And a lot of special loves, your pets, your husbands.
Inevitable. Death seems to rob us of all these special characters and special animals and everything we value in the world.
Yes.
Death takes it all away.
Yeah.
So, what's the point of that then? And Yeshua's saying, well, there's no point. The point of it is to stimulate maximum pain and grief, and it's a sense of loss. That's what the ego wants, to feed its sick identity with all this pain. And so the Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body is strengthened.
Yeah.
That's the purpose. Once you understand it, you're like, well, that's not a valid purpose, is it? That's not a good reason for a whole world to exist. Just so that we can all experience pain and suffering and ultimately die. There's no valid purpose there.
Yeah.
So, we have to see that and then be willing to let it go. So, the only valid purpose then in this insanity is to awaken from it, to free my mind from it. That's the only valid purpose. Given what it is. That's why I spend so much time teaching us what it is. Well, if we understand what it really is, then we will automatically let it go. We'll choose to let it go. Because we'll go, well, this is just completely insane. How can I possibly believe that? Once you really understand what the ego is and what it does. So he tells us in great detail in this course exactly what it is and what it does. And gives us the alternative always of the Holy Spirit and remembrance of perfect love. Okay, so any other thoughts on number one? Happy with that one?
Yeah, it's very clear. Very clear.
All right, number two then. Go and just read it in the original.
How wonderful is it? Yeah. How wonderful is it to do your will? How wonderful is it to do my will?
Yeah, I'm going to change that too. How wonderful it is to accept. See, the problem with that phraseology is most people will think they've got to do something. It's not really about doing, it's more about being. How wonderful it is to accept my true awareness. That's what he means. To do your will is to accept your true awareness, for that is freedom.
Yeah, it is.
When I'm in my true awareness, that's the only freedom that I have. I'm truly who I am. I'm free to be who I really am.
Yeah.
And I'm not fooled by an illusion of who I am anymore. Well, this is freedom. And I'm putting a capital F there because true awareness and freedom are in the same order of reality, transcendent of this world. Okay. Nothing else that should ever be called by freedom's name.
There is nothing else that ever should be called by freedom's name. The same.
Let's move that to should ever. Maybe just we need freedom's name. There's nothing else that should ever be called freedom.
Yeah, yeah.
So we call many things freedom. Oh, well, if I make money, that's freedom. If I can
Have the day off from work.
Yeah, have a holiday, that's freedom. Often it's attached to financial in this world, financial freedom.
Yeah,
and
that's the big one,
time freedom and so on. But that's not really freedom.
No.
True freedom is to be in our true self, in this true awareness, and then be guided from there. So that awareness might guide you to do various things that lead to money, but possibly. But it's the awareness that's leading. So there's an inner freedom that's then extending and expressing through you into the world, and then various results seemingly manifest. So it's inside out rather than outside in, going, well, freedom lies in some change in circumstances. When I have whatever, more money, when I have my special partner, when I, for a lot of children and teenagers, when I grow up, when I'm big, when I'm an adult, then I'll have my own money and then I'll be free,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's not. It's an illusion of freedom because actually they find when they get there that it's really not freedom. In fact, they're probably less free
we all
than they
do
were
it
when
the
they were
one
a child.
Yeah, we all do it. I'll be free when I've paid my mortgage. I'll be free when I get my pension. I'll be free when
And then
it never
it's
ends.
elusive. It's like, well,
Yeah.
when is this, freedom going to come?
Because then the mortgage is paid and then it's just something else. So
something else. And the mind, if you're attached to it, the mind's still in bondage.
Yeah.
So, are you really free when the mind is in bondage? No. So that's why it says, nothing else should ever be called freedom.
Yeah.
It's the ego's poor substitute for it. For the true freedom of your true awareness. Everything else is just a substitute for that, which is designed to cover that over and tell you to seek and not find the answer. Look outside of yourself for the answer rather than within. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Unless I do my will, I am not free.
So unless I, shall we say, unless I accept my true awareness, I'm not free. I think that's in alignment with what we've written, isn't it? Okay, carry on.
Fine. And would pure formless awareness, perfect love, leave its extension without what I have chosen for myself?
Yeah, so would God leave his son without what he has chosen for
Yeah.
himself?
And would God leave his son without what he has chosen for himself?
For myself, make that capital S. Well, no, obviously it wouldn't, because it's our own awareness. When we choose it, we activate that awareness, then we merge with that awareness, we become one with this awareness. That awareness is ours. We are that awareness. That's so-called mystical merging of the Father and the Son. It's not really mystical. It's just you become that one awareness, a singular awareness that you really are. Okay, next one. Let's read in the original. God but ensured you would never lose your will.
God but ensured, yes, ensured that you would never lose your will when he gave you his perfect answer. Pure formless awareness of perfect love only ensured that I would never lose my will when it gave me its perfect answer.
And use my true awareness. And it gave me its perfect answer. So your will is your true awareness. Just I think awareness is a better pointer than will, because will tends to be misinterpreted as, oh well, I will do that. It's in our culture, it's very much associated with motivation. My will to do this, or he has a strong will. Not with pure awareness, which is a much more kind of surrendered idea. So when I do God's will, I just surrender to my own true awareness. Okay. Carry on.
Yeah, and hear it now, that you may be reminded of his love and learn you will. Hear it now, so that I may be reminded of its love and learn my true awareness.
And learn what my true awareness is. Which is loving awareness. I am loving awareness. The awareness that is only loving, which would lead to naturally to kind words, kind actions. Okay, next one, number 8.
Yeah, God would not have his son made prisoner to what he does not want. Pure formless awareness of perfect love would not have its extension made prisoner to what I do not want.
It does not. Once its extension made prisoner to what I do not want. Okay.
He joins. He joins with you in willing you to be free. It joins with me in willing that I be free. And to oppose him is to make a choice against yourself and choose that you be bound. And to oppose it is to make a choice against myself and choose that I be bound.
Will I be limited, shall we say? So I choose to be limited, or I choose to be free. And so it's black and white, one or the other, and they are not the same. To choose to be limited means you've chosen against freedom. To choose to be free means you must renounce limitation. Okay, so read that one from the top.
How wonderful.
Top, an alternative.
Yeah, how wonderful it is to accept my true awareness, for this is freedom. There is nothing else that should ever be called freedom. Unless I accept my true awareness, I am not free. And would pure formless awareness of perfect love leave its extension without what I have chosen for myself? Pure formless awareness of perfect love ensured that I would never lose my true awareness when it gave me its perfect answer. Hear it now, so that I may be reminded of its love, and learn what my true awareness is. Pure formless awareness of perfect love does not want its extension made prisoner to what I do not want. It joins with me in willing that I be free, and to oppose it is to make a choice against myself and choose that I be limited.
Okay, so
it's just a case
what
of
are you saying in this one?
Yeah, just to, how wonderful it would be if we could actually accept what's rightfully ours, which is our birthright. It's this true awareness. And this is where our true freedom lies, rather than the freedom of the world, as the examples you gave. So until we accept this true awareness, then we're not free. So we can either oppose it and choose to be limited, or accept it as our true place, true pure formless awareness. And then we're no longer prisoner.
Yeah, well said. And I think you're getting the idea that the will of God, your will and the will of God are just this awareness. I think that's really the key concept in the translation. That your will is this true awareness, which is not so much a matter of doing, but of being. It's just accepting this awareness back as your true awareness means that you accept that that's your true nature, and you abide in that. You're in that. You're being in that. Okay. So happy with that. Move on to number 3. You can read that in the original again, the alternative. Give me a chance to edit it. There you go.
Look once again upon your enemy, the one you choose to hate instead of love. Look once again upon upon my enemy, the one I choose to hate instead of love.
I perceive my enemy again. Perceive my enemy. Enemy again. the one I chose to hate instead of love. I'm going to be perceive my enemy the one I chose to hate instead of love. Freshly. It's freshly work. With a new perception. With fresh, how about that? That works. Fresh perception.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work because then he goes. When you chose to hate instead of love, when I chose. I perceive my enemy again. Okay, I see what he's done. Once again upon your enemy. I'm just going to do all of this. Look once again upon my enemy, the one I chose to hate instead of love. I think it's better. Sorry about that. It's like trying to make it better. It wasn't actually, so. Okay. All right, I'm going to read the original. Thus was hatred born.
Sorry, what number are we on there?
2.
2, yeah. For thus was hatred born into the world, and then the rule of fear established there. For so was hatred born into the world, and so was the rule of fear established there.
Yeah, maybe we should say. So was hatred born into the world. And I don't need another so there. The rule of fear established here. Okay, number 3.
Now hear God speak to you through him who is his voice and yours as well, reminding you that it is not your will to hate and be a prisoner to fear. It is a slave to death, a little creature with a little life. Now here pure formless awareness of perfect love speak to me, through it who its voice and mine as well, reminding me that it is not my will to hate and be a prisoner to fear, slave to death, a little creature with a little life.
Yeah, so it's talking about the, the victimhood of the ego. If we look at descent into hell diagram, shows it quite well. The little life at the bottom of the ladder of separation. Individuals believe that they are living this little life of helpless, innovative little life of limitation, lack, loneliness, and suffering before their bodies die. And that's the littleness of the ego. That's the little self-concept that it sponsors quite eagerly. wants you to believe in those limitations and those lacks. And I think when you're facing, you see, when you face this belief in death, as you said you've done, you see that it's very little. That people who believe in it are, believing they're a body. It's a very little belief.
It's not
and
a pleasant, not pleasant to be
their,
in that. Yeah.
No, well, it's a disaster. I mean, you're going to die. So your body and your identity in this world and everything that you value here is going to end.
Yeah.
It's a terrible, for the ego. That's terrible. It's the end.
Mm-hmm.
Death is the end of its existence, seemingly. So if you identify with all that, it's very difficult to deal with, and then people just they don't want to deal with it, so they just kind of gloss over and go, I just won't face it. I'll try and distract myself again, which works maybe for a while, temporarily.
But then it rears its ugly head. Yeah,
that's a distraction. But at some point, you've got to face it. You can't distract yourself forever, because at some point it becomes very present in your reality. Your own life is threatened, or someone else's life who's close to you is threatened. If someone actually dies, like, well, you can't just gloss over and distract yourself. You've got to face this, the inevitability of death.
Yeah.
And deal with it somehow. So what are you going to believe? How are you going to deal with this, seeming inevitability of death? If you make it real, it's highly depressing. You'll just be depressed. But if you understand it's an illusion, that you don't really die, all that's ever dying is illusory, then it can be liberating. And say, well, then the laying aside of the body is my final awakening. It's a liberation from the body, and I welcome it. I embrace it. I accept it. I'm not running away from it. In fact, I'm overjoyed, and I'm finally releasing the body, and I'm free. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so will is boundless. Sweden original. Your will is boundless. It's not your will that it be bound. Okay, so my true awareness is, instead of boundless, I think limitless is better, isn't it? Limitless.
Yeah. My true awareness is limitless. It is not my will that it be bound.
It is not, let's just say it's in my world, it's not in my, not in this awareness. Not in this awareness, let it be limited. Okay. Happy with that? Number 5.
Yeah.
Read number 5. What lies in you?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I couldn't see it there. What lies in you has a little life.
Yeah, what lies in you is joined with God himself.
Oh, where am I?
No,
yeah. What lies? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've jumped to it. Yeah, I'm getting tired now. Right. What lies in you has joined with God himself in all creation's birth. And what lies in me has joined with pure formless awareness of perfect love itself in all extension's birth.
I think that's okay.
Remember,
Number 6.
yeah. Remember him who has created you and through your will created everything.
I remember we personalized it, so I
remember it who has extended me through my will extended everything.
maybe just say present tense, who extends me. I remember it who extends me. I remember my source, which extends me. And through my will extended everything. Through my awareness,
Do you know if we're going to be long, John, or it's just I've got a few things to sort out and I'm dropping. I'm getting a really sore throat.
there's 2 more paragraphs.
Not a sore throat, it's like a very dry throat. So speaking's like, I'd rather go and get a glass of water, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we'll do that if you need a break. There's two paragraphs left.
yeah, to be honest, I'm going to just take the dogs out and do the dishes and then I'm away to bed. I'm shattered. So
Okay.
sorry
you wanna
about
finish
that.
the paragraph?
Yeah, well, we'll finish the paragraph and then I'm going to get on with my chores. Right, where
Okay.
are we? Yeah, where are we? Number 6. I remember my source, which extends me, and through my true awareness extends everything.
Unextended.
Not one extended thing, only gives me thanks, for it is by my will that it was born.
There's that to every extended thing. So created was extended, not one created thing. So every extended thing only gives me thanks.
For it is
By my
will
awareness.
or awareness that it was born.
Well, it's that it exists. So to say. The truth is, it's not really born, or nothing is born, and nothing ever does.
No.
The truth is that awareness, your awareness, which is pure formless, is everything. Everyone's awareness. That's eternal awareness. It was never born and it never dies, which is why it's eternal. So everything exists in and by this same awareness that I have accepted. That is my true awareness. And so when we identified with that awareness and that awareness alone, then we feel one with everything, because we recognize that this awareness is universal. It's in every living creature. It underlies everything, whether it's animate or inanimate, living or apparently not living. This awareness is the ground of being that underlies it all, without which none of it could even seem to exist. Without the foundation of the ground of being, there would be no seeming reality here. You need a ground of being, a fundamental reality to split off from in order to create the illusion. You see that? So this ground of being, this true awareness is in you, and it's in everything, always. God is in everything I see, because God is in my mind. That's one of the early workbook lessons 30, I think. A very profound teaching. It's in everything I see, everything I perceive in this world, because it's in my mind. It's my own fundamental awareness. So what's perceiving everything is that awareness, and it's perceiving that awareness in everything it perceives. Recognizing that really only that awareness actually exists, and everything else is false. And that's what this is training us to perceive. Maybe if you struggle with it, just you cut through the complexity of the words. What he's saying is very, very simple, isn't it?
It is. It is simple, but it's not.
Yeah, to actually truly accept it as enlightenment. But the concept is not difficult to understand.
No, not at all.
Like it's one awareness. Okay, this awareness is everything. It's in everything and everyone. It's everything and everyone's fundamental awareness. And when you identify yourself with that awareness, then you feel one with everything and everyone. And you'll feel that, what's called unconditional love, the love of God, agape love, universal love for everything, because you're identifying yourself as it. You recognize yourself in everyone and everything, because you realize there's only one awareness, so you're not really separate from anyone or anything. It's a very, very simple concept.
Mm-hmm.
But to really, get your mind around it and accept it, internalize it, be able to live it in a world in which separation seems to rule, and there's all these different forms of bodies walking around, which suffer and die, to stay rooted in this higher awareness, and this alone is the mind. That's why we need to do all the mind training.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. It's yeah.
All right, so then just number 8, no light of heaven shines except for you.
Number 8, no pure formless awareness of heaven shines only for me, for it was set in heaven by my will.
No light of heaven, so no pure formless awareness. No light of heaven, so no awareness, what it's saying here, no awareness in the state. No seemingly separate awareness in the state of pure formless awareness shines but for me. So I'm just saying no seeming every seemingly separate awareness in the state of pure formless awareness shines for me, for it was set in heaven by my will. It was set in the state of formless awareness by my will. Instead of was, is. Well, it is set in the state of pure formless awareness through my awareness. And if you make it very present, it makes more sense, doesn't it? Instead of it was set in the state of, so I put
it makes it a lot more.
It is set in the state of pure formless awareness through my awareness right now, because I perceive it correctly. It is just this awareness as I am. And so it's set in that state of awareness because I perceive it to be so. And then I experience it to be so. And so it experiences itself through me as so. And that's how, that's why one person can change the world. Because it's all in the mind, it's all perceptual. Okay, so read that from the top, number 3, and then summarize that, and then if you want to call it a night, then do that.
Yeah. I look once again upon my enemy, the one I chose to hate instead of love. For so was hatred born into the world, and the rule of fear established here. Now I hear pure formless awareness of perfect love speak to me. Through it, who is its voice and mine as well, reminding me that it is not my will to hate and to be a prisoner to fear, a slave to death, and a little creature with a little life. My true awareness is limitless, and it is not in this awareness. It is not in this awareness that it be limited. What lies in me has joined with pure formless awareness of perfect love itself, in all extensions birth. I remember my source, which extends me, and through my true awareness extends everything. Every extended thing only gives me thanks, for it is by my awareness that it exists. Every seemingly separate awareness in the state of pure formless awareness shines for me, for it is set in the state of pure formless awareness through my awareness.
So what's he saying there in summary?
Well, not a good idea to have an enemy, because instead of it, you're choosing that instead of love, which is keeping you further and further away from pure formless awareness. And so my true awareness is actually limitless. And I am joined with this perfect love. And I can extend. So if I remember my source, so then it extends me through my true awareness, and then extends everything. So every separate awareness in the state of pure formless awareness shines through us. So it's all through our awareness that we can be aware of the pure formless awareness.
Yeah, you have to understand that awareness, be in that awareness to appreciate it in others.
Yeah.
You have no idea it's in you. How can you possibly perceive it in another?
Well, of course, yes.
Which is why, the unconditional, to be loving and kind. It's all very well just going, well, just be loving and kind to everything. But unless you have this fundamental awareness, why would you? You think it's separate from you. You don't think it's you. You don't identify yourself as with it. So then, in that deluded mind, you think, well, it's okay to not be loving and kind because it's not me. So I don't suffer when something else suffers. But if you understand that it's one awareness, this is your own awareness that you're hurting, trying to hurt, then that becomes insane. Like, well, why would I hurt myself? So, loving kindness, unconditional love, loving kindness, the golden rule of behavior, do unto others, you have them do unto you, all come from this fundamental awareness. Without it, the golden rule is meaningless, which is why it's not very much applied in our world, because most people haven't attained this state of fundamental awareness of really realizing who they are. They don't know. So they've denied that awareness. And when you deny that awareness, then what's left is false laws that violate the laws of truth, like the golden rule, do unto others as you haven't do unto you, and so on. And those laws seem to make sense in the ego, but they don't really. So Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, you can take away that from this section. It's just one awareness. It's your own awareness, and your only job is to accept that awareness,
So
accept it for yourself, see it everywhere, and then you're doing the will of God.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's in the key message of the whole.
Yeah, the key messages, if you want to read that quickly, the key messages.
Yeah. Opposing the remembrance of perfect love is opposing my own true self, whereas embracing my true awareness is freedom. My boundless awareness is one with all being. My decisions can free or imprison the world because everything is connected. Therefore, I hold the power to heal others by perceiving them as my companions.
Mhm.
So in the executive summary, is that a bit more?
You want to read that as well?
Yeah, go on then. I mean, I don't like missing any, but it's just, I've got things I've got to do, you see, so I'll quickly go through this. I recognize the danger in opposing the remembrance of perfect love, as it's essentially fighting against myself. This divine power represents my true will and intentions. Everything within this pure formless awareness of perfect love is for my benefit. It reminds me of the power of my true awareness and the unity between it and this pure formless awareness. Accepting my true awareness is the real meaning of freedom. Any resistance against this power is resistance to my true nature, which enslaves me to false beliefs. I must reconsider my perceptions of their enemies and let go of hatred and fear. My potential is limitless. Therefore, I am one with everything I perceive, and everything thanks me for its existence in the state of pure formless awareness, which my awareness is an integral part of. My emotions, especially anger, are questioned, reminding me of the power I have to free myself and everyone. If I am imprisoned, it implies that the pure formless awareness of
There's a question, my emotions, especially anger. Which reminds me of the power I have to free myself and everyone. So we must question. So we have these emotions, these thoughts. We must question them and say, well, what's going on here? Is this true? Is this anger true? Is fear true? And that reminds me of the power I have to free myself and everyone, because actually it's not true. If it's not true, then I have the power to correct it in my mind rather than be enslaved by it.
Yeah. And if I am imprisoned, it implies that the pure formless awareness of perfect love isn't free either. The love that surrounds me wishes only that I be free and limitless. The world's freedom is in my hands, and my freedom is integrally linked with this universal freedom and love. Therefore, as I free myself, I heal the world. Everyone's liberation from fear and death depends on my decisions. I perceive everyone as my friends, and in doing so, I release pure formless awareness of perfect love from any limitations I perceive it has. I perceive it has, yeah. Yeah. So that's,
So what's he, it's a summary.
yeah. Well,
In essence, in your own words, what's he saying?
well, basically, if we're not in our true awareness of perfect love, then we're in this limited prison. And if we hate or have enemies, then it's just imprisoning us in the keeping us well away from our true pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Hmm.
And the reality is that this awareness just wants to surround us in freedom, and we are limitless,
Hmm.
but it's universal.
Hmm.
We have to put our extension and hands to all our friends and have no enemies, none.
Hmm. Exactly. And then we are free. In love, we're truly free. And that our true awareness, which is loving awareness, we're truly free. That's the only state that's worthy of the name freedom.
Yeah. Which of course I definitely get. Yeah. Yeah, I quite understand that. Makes sense.
Well, so it's to understand it first, and then to actually live it,
That's the one, yeah.
feel it. To feel it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Awesome. Like, can I really feel this loving awareness? Can I stay in that loving awareness no matter what happens? That's
yeah.
enlightenment. The likes of Yeshua and Buddha, they manage to stay in that loving awareness most of the time. So their words and their actions reflected that.
Yes.
And that's come down through the ages. Okay, well, these were enlightened beings. They just stayed in this loving awareness. They were in that loving awareness. They saw that loving awareness in everyone, and they weren't confused by the appearances of something else.
The behavior and
That was false.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it takes some mind training, because the ego set it up so that you don't perceive loving awareness. In fact, it's done everything it possibly can to cover it over and deny it. That's why it's called the veil of illusion. And when I had my mystic awakening experience, it was so clear to me. It's like crystal clear. Okay, the whole world is just a projection of this insane belief in separation, and it's just designed to cover that over. It's a cover over this pure awareness, pure formless awareness, as I subsequently called it. Just designed to cover that up and prevent me from experiencing it. And I really got it. I was like, yeah, that's the point of the world. That's what it's here for, is to cover over my true awareness, which is absolutely pure, pristine, beautiful. I mean, you can't really describe it. It's just like wonderful.
You've experienced it. I mean, I get it intellectually, but I haven't quite gone through the pristine experience and the mystical experience yet.
Yeah, well, it'll come.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
If you keep practicing,
open. Yeah.
Keep training your mind and keep letting go, and correcting perception, and then you open the way for these kinds of experiences to happen. It's an accident when it happens, but you've made yourself very accident prone by doing all the spiritual practice and all the trainings. You prepared yourself for the coming of this so-called accidental experience, where you just go deeply into pure formless awareness. And so you just keep practicing.
I'm open. Yeah, no, I'm certainly open for it. For sure. So work in progress.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to leave it there, Elaine?
Yeah, because sorry, I know I keep making excuses, but it's a dry throat. Sorry, rather than a sore throat, it's just dry. Yeah, it's been so hot, but anyway, I'm sounding like the ego moaning. Yeah, so that's very much coming from the ego, but I have got some chores to do. So thank you for a good another good
Yeah.
session there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So tomorrow we
Yeah,
do an afternoon session. I've got
yeah,
evening.
that's fine. The only thing is it'll be about 1-ish because I have got some dogs I'm taking out in the morning. So it would be about 1 before I could get there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Join at 1 o'clock then, and then I'll
Yeah.
probably have at least 2 hours, maybe 3, just depending on.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Namaste.
Thanks for joining. Namaste.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. All right, so we haven't done number 4 and 5, paragraph 4 and 5. So let's just do that. We've kind of done it in reverse order a little bit. So, what cause have I for anger in a world that only awaits my blessing to be free? I be prisoner. I am prisoner. I am a prisoner. Then pure formless one is the perfect love itself. Cannot. Oops. What happened there? I am a prisoner in pure formless one is the perfect love itself. Cannot be free. For what is done to him whom pure formless someone is the perfect love. So love is done to pure formless someone is perfect love itself. What is done to me instead of him. And what is done to him, to me whom pure formless someone is perfect love, so loves. And to me whom pure formless one is perfect love, so loves. Is done to pure formless one is perfect love itself. Ignited wills to bind me. That's not. Let's not think that it wills to bind me. I don't think that it wants to imprison me. Who has made you co-creator of the universe along with him. It has made me co-creator extender of the universe. Along with it. Let's not think that my source which has made me co-extender of the universe. And co-extender of reality. Things my source made me co-extender reality. Along with it wants to imprison me. I must not think that my source, which has made me co-extender reality along with it, wants to imprison me. It would only keep me my will forever, forever limitless. And he wants to keep my awareness forever limitless. World awaits the freedom I will give when I recognize that I'm free. World awaits the freedom I will give when I recognize that I am free. But I will not let go of the world until I've let go of it, who gave my will to me. Whereas by my will, the world is given freedom. It's by my will, the world is given freedom. By my you will not forgive the world until you've forgiven him who gave your will to you. I will not let go of the world until I have let go is not the right word there. Until I have released. Okay, let go of the world until I've released it who gave my will to me. Gave my I released it, which gave my awareness to me from any condemnation. It is by my true awareness world is given. The world is freed. How can I be free apart from it who is innocent? This innocent awareness I share. Okay, so let's read that from the top. What cause have I for anger in a world that only awaits my blessing to be free? So how can I really be angry? He's saying, well, I can just bless the world to free it. If I'm a prisoner, then pure formless awareness of perfect love itself cannot be free. I'm imprisoning the source, my pure formless awareness of perfect love itself, and saying that it's not free when I'm saying that I'm not free. For what is done to me in pure formless awareness of perfect love, so love's is done to pure formless awareness of perfect love itself. I must not think that my source, which has made me co-extender of reality along with it, wants to imprison me. And then he wants to keep my awareness limitless forever. And this world awaits the freedom I will give when I recognize that I am free. But I will not let go of the world until I have released it. It which gave my awareness to me from any condemnation. So I must recognize that I am free to free the world, as within, so without. Be the change you want to see in the world, as Gandhi said, not let go of the world until I've released it, which gave my awareness to me. So I released my source, gave my awareness to me from any condemnation, for it is by my true awareness the world is freed. For the world is freed. The world is freed by my true awareness. How can I be free apart from it, whose innocent awareness? Share. All is freed through my true awareness. How can I be free apart from it, whose innocent awareness I share? So he's saying here that I must accept my true awareness, and that true awareness is my freedom and the world's freedom. But God turns to you to ask the world to be saved, for by your own salvation is healed. The formless awareness, perfect love, turns to me to ask the world be freed. To ask me to free the world. For by my own awakening, for it is healed. And it is healed through my own awakening. And no one walks upon the earth everyone who walks everyone on earth, perhaps I can just make it simple. Everyone on earth let me just keep it. Everyone who walks the earth only walks on earth only must depend on my decision. Must depend on my decision. Depend on my decision to learn that death has no power over them. Because death has no power over them, because they share my freedom as they share my true awareness. It is my will to heal him. It's my intention to heal them. Because I've decided with him he is healed. So it's my intention to heal them because I've decided with them they are healed because I've decided with them. And now, pure formless awareness of perfect love. Now is God forgiven. Now I have released pure formless awareness of perfect love. I chose to see my companion as a friend. Let's read it from the top. So pure formless awareness of perfect love turns to me to ask me to free the world, for it is healed through my own awakening. And everyone who walks the earth must depend on my decision to learn that death has no power over them, because they share my freedom as they share my true awareness. It is my intention to heal them, and they are healed because I've decided with them. Now I have released pure formless awareness of perfect love, for I chose to perceive my companion as a friend. So what he's saying here is that pure formless awareness of perfect love is asking us to live according to it and extend it. So I make the decision for this awareness, which is perfect life that transcends death, and that brings not just me freedom, but it brings other people freedom, everyone freedom, as they share my true awareness. Now, they may not realize that yet, but it's happening in my mind, so I'm offering it to them. It's my intention to heal them. So if I stay in this awareness, then I have intention to heal them, and they are healed because I've decided with them. And now I've released pure formless awareness of perfect love from my condemnation, from any condemnation. I've freed pure formless awareness of perfect love from any condemnation. I chose to perceive my companion as a friend. And so it becomes critical how we perceive our companions as friends rather than enemies. So in the personalized executive summary, I recognize a danger, opposing remembrance of perfect love as this is essentially fighting against true self. The self is my true awareness and intentions. Holds my true awareness and intentions. Everything within this pure formless awareness of perfect love. Is for my benefit. It reminds me of the power of my true awareness and unity between it and this pure formless awareness. Reminds me of the power of my true awareness and unity between it, this pure formless awareness. This pure formless awareness and perfect love. Accepting my true awareness is the real meaning of freedom. Any resistance to this awareness is resistance to my true nature, which enslaves me to form. Enslaves me to false beliefs. I must reconsider my perceptions of enemies and let go of my hatred and fear towards them. My potential is limitless, therefore, I'm one with everything I perceive. I'm one with everything I perceive, and everything thanks me for its existence in the state of pure formless awareness, which my true awareness is an integral part of. I question my thoughts and emotions, especially anger, which reminds me of the power I have to free myself and everyone. If I'm imprisoned, it implies that the pure formless awareness of perfect love isn't free either. Love that surrounds me wishes only that I be free and limitless. I'm present and implies that the pure form of soul is perfect love isn't free either. Love that surrounds me wishes only that I be free and limitless. The perfect love that surrounds me wishes only that I be free and limitless. The world's freedom is in my hands. My freedom is integrally linked with this universal freedom and love. Therefore, as I free myself, I heal the world. Everyone's liberation from fear and death depends on my decisions. Perceive everyone as my friends, and in doing so, I release pure formless awareness of perfect love from any limitations I perceive it has. So by perceiving everyone as this pure formless awareness, I release any misperceptions that this awareness is limited, claim that awareness back, which is why it's so important to perceive your brothers correctly. And then the key message is that opposing the remembrance of perfect love is opposing my own true self, whereas accepting my true awareness is freedom. This limitless awareness is one with all being. So my decisions can free or imprison the world because everything is connected. Therefore, I hold the power to heal others by perceiving them as my companions. And so it is. And heal and be healed only in this limitless awareness. My true awareness is freedom. And when I accept it, then I free others and the world as well. That's really the key message of this lesson. So hope you resonated with that and enjoyed it. And thank you for watching and joining. So thanks to Elaine for joining earlier, making the session possible. And if you liked the session, then subscribe to the channel. You can also join us for Masterclass soon. I'll put a link below to allow you to do that, and you can subscribe to receive this material. Some of the material that I used up front on email via Telegram every day. So do that if you feel inspired. Hope to connect with you on the inside soon. And namaste, which means the true self in me acknowledges and honors that same true self, which is pure formless awareness, perfect love in you. Peace.